Good day, South Africans. Welcome again to Advocate Mekwa Speak social media platforms. As we continue, I think, on part 4 of the Ukraine and Russia situation. And I think it's necessary for me to reiterate once more that the views that I share on this very sensitive topic are my individual views. They have nothing to do with the government of the Republic, nor the department for which I work for and or clients that I serve. And South Africans, have been very curious. We've seen the statement that was released by our minister, Minister Naledi Pandor, on the Ukraine-Russia scenario. And I've also already alluded to the silence on the Israel and Syria situation. But also we saw comments about that were made by our president, obviously, and the attempt by the government to try and communicate with Moscow. Now, I've been thinking to my mind how this conversation would actually be going. I genuinely been very curious to check how this conversation would be going. and I'm not joking. It's one thing to say that South Africa is part of BRICS and we accept. The question is whether at the table we can meaningfully sit as equal partners and be in a position to reprimand and or force Russia to do anything that they don't want to, especially in light of the stern warning that was given by President Putin. It was very clear. You will suffer consequences never before seen in your history. Right. Now, one thing that I'm trying to check is whether we are not punching above our weight by even trying to interfere in the issue. Whether we even have an interest to even worry about what is happening there, other than the normal human, interest in terms of not wanting to see civilians affected in that conflict and the sentimental aspects around what international law says and so forth and so forth. And I'm a staunch believer in the protection of sovereignty and all of these things. But I'm trying to ask myself a question. Once President Putin picks up that phone call, do we as South Africans have the moral high ground to be able to tell President Putin anything? I'm not sure, because it would seem through time we've lost our hard power as a state or as a nation. And I'd like to believe that we are also losing our soft power, which is our human capital, our ability to speak from a moral high point as a people, and the world listened. There used to be a time, I believe, that the world could take us seriously as South Africans. There used to be that time. Even maybe we cannot, stand and fight a powerhouse like Russia, but I believe from a moral point of view, there was a time. I'm not sure if this time is still now, but I want you guys as South Africans to tell me whether how you believe that conversation would be going on between our president and President Putin, and whether we'd be in a position to reprimand him, and or I'm not sure what influence we would be able to assert as a carrot. I don't even want to think about whether or not we even have a stick to get President Putin to listen to us. So I want you guys as South Africans to go wild and share with me what you believe, how you believe that conversation would go between our president and President Putin. I part with these words. Anyone from outside that wants to interfere in what's happening in Ukraine, you will suffer consequences never before seen in history. Thank you very much, South Africans.